Welcome to QIC-EY Now. No opportunity wasted for making moments matter for children and youth. We're exploring the competency understand child and adolescent development, and we're starting right now. Seeing behaviors and actions in the context of child and adolescent development is key to meeting the needs of children and youth. When child welfare professionals tailor their approaches by viewing situations through this lens, they can respond in ways that validate and support children and youth at each stage of life. But what does this really mean? Let's hear an example from a professional with lived expertise.
Hi, my name is Thomas Threlkeld. I'm a project specialist with Spalding. I'm a person with lived expertise in the child welfare system and spent quite a bit of time in group homes, shelters, and foster homes as a youth. I remember a particular guy who kind of came in and he was very authoritative. He was barking out orders and telling me what to do. When it came to choices, he had a really hard time letting me make any of the decisions. And a lot of times he was enforcing rules that he had just kind of came up with because he was an adult. And I think that he didn't understand that I didn't see myself as a child, like that maybe I was surrounded by people who said, "Oh yeah, that's a child." Or maybe they looked at my chronological age and said, "Oh yeah, that's a child." But by the time I was 12 years old, I had gone through so much trauma and such a perpetual feeling of not feeling safe, being in a constant state of fight or flight, and really, it really aged me, right? So, in not being able to recognize that my experience has caused some inconsistency in the way that I reacted, in the way that I carried myself, and not being able to recognize that, adults really struggle because they expect you to be a kid. They expect to have authority. But to a kid who doesn't feel connected, those ideas that adults really believe in, like respect and authority, those aren't really things that mean anything to them. So when somebody would come in and do the whole authority, the whole adult, the whole talking down to me, it would really be a huge trigger for me because the reality is it took me back to being a powerless little kid, which is just something that I wasn't capable of anymore.
Thanks, Thomas. Now that we've heard an example, let's wrap this up with some things you can do to understand child and adolescent development right now. Respect and honor confidentiality. Allow children and youth to disclose information as they are ready, and when they do, provide unconditional support. Remember that language evolves and that you need to evolve with it. Now is the time to better understand child and adolescent development and to make moments matter for children and youth. The QIC-EY is 100% funded by the Administration for Children and Families of the United States Department of Health and Human Services.